G'day everyone, welcome back to ECITV.
Welcome back. Oh my God, it's been forever. But yeah, welcome everyone.
We've got a special guest today, Gary.
Certainly. Oh, McGarry. No, I'm always here. Peter.
G'day,
Peter
Ron.
Hart from Hart's Haulage. And I don't know, East Coast team manager for Chase.
That'd be me.
It's an official title, so welcome along, Pete.
Thank you.
Come on,
Yeah, no worries.
officially.
Thank you.
Yeah, and welcome everyone else as well, like Shane said. So, yeah, I think today's episode we're looking at a little bit of a wrap-up of a race meeting we had recently in Victoria called Track Attack, which has been around for many years. 25 years.
Yep, 25.
And it's this year it just absolutely went off, and a lot of it was to do with this guy beside me, and we'll let Pete give us a quick rundown on it, I think.
I think it was a collaborative type deal. We had a lot of support out of ECI with getting a couple of international superstars here from Chase, and you know, that sort of was like a magnet effect. It attracted a few others with us looking after him as well. So it was the elite setup at Track Attack this year was world class.
I think once we signed Joris Dorday, and
Yep.
we all know of Joris Dorday, Isaac Kennedy.
Yep.
Once we signed those two riders to come to do some training, some coaching clinics,
Yep.
as well as some appearances. Isaac was going to race, but unfortunately he didn't. But just to have them there at the event,
Yep.
all of a sudden, like you said, it was just a knock-on effect and just created this atmosphere where everyone just wanted to be a part of Track Attack.
Yep.
And you approached a few other elite riders, and next minute it just exploded.
Yeah, and it was good. You know, we had the apartment complex over there in Ferntree Gully looked after us really well to accommodate some of these people, and
Oh,
Who are they?
that was
Lifestyle Apartments.
Lifestyle Apartments over in Ferntree Gully.
Yeah.
Dale
Dale Dowles.
Dowds and his wife Sarah.
Now, the Dowles family have been involved in the BMX side of things for many years ago, and I had a lot to do with the Dowles family.
Yep.
And I knew Dale when he was when he was just born, actually.
Yep.
And to see him grow up, get involved in BMX, but also step up and offer a little bit of sponsorship in regards to accommodation and everything
Yep.
was brilliant. So a big
Yeah,
shout
no.
out to Lifestyle Apartments. So if you are in, and I know we don't normally, promote things that much, but, if you are in Victoria or at the eastern suburbs, Ferntree Gully, I believe,
Ferntree Gully, yep.
by all means, look up, and we'll put their details on here somewhere, wherever Shane
Yeah.
does it. So
No, they were great. That was a bit of a pivotal thing for getting the elites here.
yeah.
Was offering some very affordable accommodation and looking after
And
them. But
the other things with Joris and Isaac, because we were offered some training clinics.
yep,
Obviously, there's a lot of expense involved with someone like Joris and Isaac coming to Victoria. So, we tried to promote and pre-sell some training spots,
yep,
and that was also a big part in funding their, because all that money went to them.
Correct.
Elite and anyone else didn't take money out of it.
yep.
All that money went to them. So, once we reached a little bit of pre-sale, they were all over it, and the pre-sales were phenomenal.
I was totally amazed with the pre-sales. Like Joris especially, I think we had 120 spots available for Joris
At $100 a head.
at $100 a head, and we sold 84 spots, I think, in 17 minutes.
Yeah, incredible.
Was just great to see the support for them riders and just how much they're loved in the sport.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. I mean, there was a lot of people that we'd spoken to here that said, they're not too sure what their child would get out of it, but just to have the opportunity to, spend time and be coached by a gold medalist.
Yep.
$100 is nothing.
No,
to have that and to have time with someone like
Yep.
that, talk to them and get signatures and
Well,
be
the
around them.
feedback was great, Gary. They obviously we were around BMX a lot, and we know that you're not going to probably get too much out of an hour and a half session
Exactly.
on a one-off basis. But there was so many parents came up to us after they had an experience with the coaching clinics and said that their kids had come back with something.
Yep.
There was kids that we spoke to on the track that said, "Oh, well, I only did that because that was what we got shown at the," and it was great. You know, they really took it on board, and you know, the smiles on the faces when it come to the signing side of it and all that sort of stuff was great.
Now the signing side of it, you know, we're probably jumping around a bit here, but we organised a pro signing on the Tuesday night or Tuesday afternoon at Knox Track. I thought it was going to be, you know, reasonable, but we lined up 5 tents and had tables same as this along the full length of the 5 tents.
Yep.
And we got to the stage where we didn't have enough room for the amount of pros. You know, you what do you think? You didn't get there, did
I
you?
didn't make it.
You
No.
saw the footage that I'd taken, but to see, like, it started off a little bit quiet, and we thought, oh, is this going to work okay? And all the pro riders, no matter who they were, brought along some giveaways or banners or posters or whatever. And next minute, you know, the whole 5 tents were lined up with people probably 5 deep, with kids and adults wanting selfies and signatures, and it was just brilliant. And it was meant to last for an hour.
Yep.
And it got to the stage where all of a sudden the pros are having to, you know, jump up and get geared up to go and practice, and there's still people queued up. Like, it just went on for the whole hour. It was brilliant. It could have run for 2 hours and there still would have been people.
We, I think we went through 400 chase posters with Isaac and Joris featured on them. And even from our younger chase co-factory riders, I think we've done 100
postcard size things.
So we had them in there signing as well as a bit of a thing, and they actually ran out of cards within 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It was great. It was great to see so much activity, so much love of these high-end riders. At that level. I've only been in the sport now, I think, 9 years, and we used to see it at Thunderdome, and I haven't seen it since, really, until that night.
This was the biggest thing I've seen in BMX in Australia for a long time. For a local event. You know, when I say local event, I mean not nationals or whatever, but you know, I believe it's probably, you know, it'll be one of the prestige events for the year, and rumour has it that 2026
will be much bigger.
Will be much bigger. I mean, there's already some big names that have showed a lot of interest in coming along. We won't divulge them yet.
Nope.
Jorah said that he will be there, you know, with bells on. He loved it. So, but yeah, there's other big names that we will, you know, release during the year. But
So, Pete, you must be chuffed with the success, but what's the feedback from the riders?
They loved it. They just the quality of racing for them. You know, obviously we had a lot of the high-end elite riders and, you know, world champion type riders sitting in the chase tents, and they just couldn't believe what we'd achieved for them, and even for the more localised superclass riders, they don't normally get the opportunity to ride with that quality of rider, and they were just blown away. And even down through the age classes, the quality of rider that they were competing with was fantastic. I don't believe I've heard a bad word come back out of that event at all. It's really been well received.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And the drag riders from all over the country, New Zealand,
Singapore,
Germany. There was some Germany.
Yep.
Amazing. So if that's a lead up to 2026, watch out.
Yeah, I think we can only get better.
Because what were the numbers at most of the events?
Most of the events we had them around the 600 riders. There was a couple. There was a couple of events where it went over the 600, and a couple maybe that was just under. But on average, we would have been on that 600 riders.
Because it also flowed on a bit to BSX, didn't it? Because BSX was massive.
Being swarmed by 142 riders on a one-on-one track made for a long day. I mean, we managed to get through it pretty quick, but it had a roll-on effect for sure. And I don't know if we would have had that many riders if Track Attack wasn't as big as it was.
Yep.
So for people who aren't familiar, and the majority of people would, I'd say, but you know, Track Attack itself is 6 events over 9 days. and then you drop BSX in the middle of it, which is a fundraising one that.
So it's a backyard BMX bash,
Yeah.
one-on-one
Yeah,
racing.
one-on-one race.
Yep.
We have auctions and raffles
Awesome
and all
day.
that sort of stuff to raise money for the Royal Children's Hospital.
So you throw that in the mix, and
Yep.
it's an intense week.
Yep.
So those odd days that you have off, like the Wednesday and Friday, you really need them to recover. So really put it in your calendar for 2026.
I don't know if anyone had a chance to recover with all the coaching clinics and everything else
Yeah,
going
true.
on this time.
Mate, I didn't ride at all, and I can tell
You're
you,
exhausted.
I was exhausted that next week. I actually took time off work because I was done. It was great.
Oh, so good. It was just excellent to see that sort of enthusiasm and support. It was so good.
The support was great, especially from our perspective. I had you guys helped us out massively with a lot of the equipment and tents and stuff that we needed to do. Whoever knows Peter Brooks, he was pivotal.
Pivotal in helping you.
I nearly killed the poor old fella, but he was with me at every start up and every finish. And 5 tents doesn't seem that much to do, but when you're doing 5 tents, tables, tent sides, and making sure that whole group of riders in that tent are looked after, there's a lot to do.
And you're having to do that at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning.
Peter and I were at every track between 6 and 6:30 in the morning, and we weren't the daytime tracks. We weren't leaving there till after 6 o'clock some days. The evening ones we weren't leaving till 1 o'clock in the morning. It was, and for me then I was back up the next morning to take these coaching clinics with Joris and Isaac. So it was big. But it was great. I would have to say that week was probably the best week I've ever had in BMX.
I was about to say, even with the exhaustion and fatigue, you still would have been on a high. You would have been running on an adrenaline, basically.
Well, this is what I do. This is my thing. This is my release. And not that it's probably much of a release, but I really enjoy BMX. My son rides BMX. My grandson rides BMX, and we love it. So to put on something or be a part of something like this has just been phenomenal.
Especially when it's such a success. Sorry.
No, that's what I was going to say. We saw that you were on a bike during Track Attack. Are you getting ready for next year?
Bodie Turner did take a little video of me on Joris's bike, which we made a bit of a gag out of, but no, I won't be back on the bike. Yes.
I suppose that's almost it for the Track Attack wrap up, really, isn't it? It really is just a case of keep your eyes open for 2026 and any promotion we start to do, because it is going to be massive. If 2025 is any indication, and some of the names that Pete's been banting around with is, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, well, I have jumped on the front foot early this year. Have already hopefully secured a couple of good names, so we can only capitalise on that.
It must be an easy sell to bring people from the Northern Hemisphere to our summer when they'd normally be freezing their bums
Well,
off.
one of the fellas I talked to did say to me that a good excuse to get away from the cold would be Track Attack over here. So, we'll look forward to getting that all up and going.
Is it cold in Alabama, is it?
Don't know. I've never been there, so I've got no idea. It is a plan to get there, so...
Anyway, on that note.
Yep.
Maybe quickly talk about the Oceanas. Noah was there, and obviously you were keeping a close eye on it.
Yes, disappointing not to be there myself.
Yeah, I bet. Actually, let's go back to Track Attack, because one thing that astounded me was how Josh Jolly just smashed everyone.
Oh, my God.
A quality field, and he's still a young guy, really still finding his feet, still getting stronger, still getting faster. I don't know if you could say he's getting more skillful, but he just blows my mind how fast that guy is.
He won every event.
Every single event.
And
I think he
broke
smashed records.
He
three
broke
track records?
He broke every track record.
Oh, every track? I thought it was three.
And he broke every track record twice or 3 times on the days that he was there. That kid. If you were going to back someone for a gold medal in the future, he is definitely the man. I can't say enough about that guy. He's a kid that I have adopted into my family, and he's just the word. There's no words. He's just a freaky bike rider that just loves riding.
And he's got the personality to go with it, because he's always got time for everyone.
Yep.
Always polite. Always wants to have a chat.
Yep.
He's never.
He's a very humble guy.
Very.
For the success that he's gaining at the rate that he's gaining it, you know, there are people, I suppose, that tends to bump him off their humbleness. But that guy, it doesn't matter what he does, he will come to the kid standing beside him at the track and give him instructions on how to win his race.
Yeah,
and
I
feel
saw that a
different.
few times.
Yeah, he's a very humble guy. But he's flying. I think he a bit disappointed with his Oceania outcome. He did really well over there too in his motos, but dusted up with a couple of guys in the final, and I think a learning curve there, and he'll bounce back from that super strong.
Yeah. What was the highlights from Oceanias? I mean, apart from watching Noah kick ass in the motos.
Look, my highlight is obviously always my son. He took the overall win at Track Attack in the 17 to 24 class. He carried that over into the Oceanias. He got second on his first run of the day over there, and then pretty much won everything from there on in until the final. Unfortunately, the final was a strong race, and with an accident in the first corner, he ended up with fifth. But for his first international,
still awesome. Yeah.
First international race, I think it's awesome to be in a final against a team, against a crew of kids he knows he doesn't know at all, and never raced on that track at all. He held it together really well.
I saw they only had 8 elite men over there, and I thought they could use a Hardy over there and someone to roust up all the boys.
It was great from the Track Attack perspective to see that we had quarterfinals with the world's best on the gate, to then go to look at the Oceanias, which in all aspects should be a much bigger race, and they weren't there. It was disappointing from that respect, but I'm not sure how it all pans out this year for points.
I guess it doesn't really matter, really. You're not qualifying for Olympics or anything to impress selectors or anything, are you?
But no, it was good event. As I say, I'm disappointed because I wasn't there. That's actually probably the first race that I've never gone to with my son. But he's stoked. It was a good experience.
What are you looking forward to for the rest of the year? Just kicking back until next year, or are you going to be flat out?
No, we are flat out. We're pretty much going to race all the national series. We're just waiting to see on the 15th of February the teams will be released for Worlds, which I am pretty confident or hoping that Noah will be on that team, and then we'll go to Copenhagen as well. He's got big ambitions with the Chase brand, and hopefully he can make all that come together, and they will love him as much as he loves them, and we'll forever be that.
As Chase team manager, you got a bunch of guys that'll probably end up over at the Worlds at Copenhagen.
Yeah, well, I think Harvey would probably be on that same train, and Noah. I'm not sure where the Georgie Venables is going, but I know over in Western Australia they're always a competitor in the world title side of it. So, yeah, I think from Australia's perspective, we've got some good, strong riders in our age group and our elite group, and we hopefully go over there and make a bit of a difference.
Yeah, right. And then do you think you'll get a lot over there getting ready for 2026 the World Championships in Australia?
I think so, yeah. There's already a lot of talk amongst the riders. I think the good thing about the group that we hang around is that there are a lot of high-end riders in that. They're all, the talk's good. Everyone's keen. Being on home soil makes a big difference. And I think we've actually got a couple of World Cups too here, have we, that year in 2026?
I don't think they've been announced, but very strong rumours.
Yeah, so I think, for Australia, we'll be in a good position.
With Australia, it's difficult to get people to travel unless they're really getting closer to Olympic qualifying.
Yep.
Just from funding perspective.
Cost-wise,
it's very expensive. I didn't realise from a European perspective how expensive it is to get here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're all keen, but yeah, it's the money factor. And as you say, not being on an Olympic qualifier.
It's nice to see a few of them hang out here during summer, though.
It is good to see them hanging out here. There's quite a number of good quality riders over in Australia here at the moment.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's good.
All right. I don't think I've got anything else. What about you guys?
Oh, that's probably about it, I'd say. Oh,
Well,
thanks very much for coming along.
Thanks for having me on here. It's been
And
great.
Thanks for all the effort you put in for Track Attack. And
Oh, it doesn't end here, Gaz.
it's going to be so exciting.
Yep. No, we just plan to get bigger and better.
We've got 10 months to work on it.
Yep. We might just need a bit more crew to move forward, but we'll be right.
Yeah.
We'll recruit them as we go.
That's it. Okay, everyone. Thanks very much for watching.
See you later.
Ciao.
Cheers.